Okay, here's another thing for those of you who are going through faith deconstruction and the whole mystery of that, how it relates to spiritual mystery. And it's something that you can learn. It's important to learn. You can learn to unlearn and unknow God. And you can learn to unlearn and unknow the God you've held on to. Now, I know you can grasp this. Perhaps when I start sharing some of these things, your soul is already going to affirm. You're going to go, okay, I get this. I totally affirm this. Now, there are numerous ways to look at God, and I'm going to share two of them with you that relate to this whole know and unknow. One of them is the cataphatic way of viewing God. The other one is the apophatic way of viewing God. Now, the cataphatic way, this is the knowing of God. We view God by using familiar terms, and we use these familiar terms to describe God. He's Father, He's friend, He's brother. God is there to help me when I need Him. He walks with me and He talks with me. These are affirming and knowing ways that we speak with God, and they help us. This is why it makes so much sense to speak of God in anthropomorphic ways, because He's like me, and then this helps me. And they're very, very important. But they're also limiting, and they're also a construct, and it's a human-made construct. It's an acceptable construct, of course, but you need to know that it's a human construct. And if we have a God, this is what I think, at the center of human existence and cosmological existence, I would think we have to have a God that is beyond a cataphatic way of speaking about God in knowing terms. Then there is an apophatic way of viewing God. This is the unknowing. We learn about God, not how we speak of God, but apophatic means it's how not to speak about God. This is to hold on to the unknowing of God, to speak in ways that are only affirming and knowing and describing God. Those are always limiting because they come from us. But we're to move beyond words and descriptors. We're to move beyond a rational knowing. And our spiritual lives move towards an unknowing. The apophatic way of approaching our view of God and our spiritual lives, it virtually disappeared within the Protestant Reformation. And by the time we got to the 20th century version of American Western evangelical Christianity, it literally became a faith of answers and certainty and rationale. It's like we became so insecure with not knowing. So then systematic theology and biblical apologetics and biblical inerrancy, it all focused on this hyper-explaining the cataphatic, the knowing view of God, and it lost the mystery, the apophatic unknowing of God. But when I look at the New Testament, Christ seems to demonstrate both. Jesus, of course, often explains God in anthropomorphic terms in very cataphatic ways, of course. But Jesus was also an apophatic teacher. The seed is sprouting and growing, but we do not know how. Mark 4. Jesus even says, shockingly, let the good and the bad seeds grow together until harvest. Both apophatic. Jesus seems to be willing to live with this non-perfection, this non-explanation of everything. He just has a heavenly and cosmic patience, a freedom to hold on to the infinite love and view of God.